Leary finds herself wandering through a dark, twisted forest. The trees whisper secrets in a language both ancient and unnerving. Amidst the shadows, figures of her Fey ancestors appear, their forms flickering like candle flames in the wind.
Leary, thou who was born human, now cloaked in the guise of the Fey.
Varianth's voice echoes through the trees, cold and mocking.
Dost thou truly believe thyself one of the fair folk? Or art thou merely a pretender, sculpted by hags' hands into a counterfeit semblance?
As she moves deeper into the forest, Leary sees a mirror standing alone among the trees. Approaching it, she witnesses her reflection transforming from human to Fey and back again, her identity shifting like sand in an hourglass.
Thy claims to Fey lineage are as fragile as spun glass, a facade that could shatter with but a touch.
Varianth taunts.
Yet fear not, for this masquerade may yet be thy salvation.
Suddenly, the forest scene shifts to a horrific vision of Xaden, driven by a blind fury against all Fey. He wields cold iron, an icy blue barb, seated on the rest of his powerful bow, and the rictus forms of misting Fey corpses surround him. Their screams fill the air, a chilling symphony of despair.
Behold the Marquis of Agony, thy ally turned executioner. His wrath knows no bounds, a genocide of the Fey kindled by vengeance.
Varianth's voice grows softer, almost comforting.
Yet thy human roots, the very thing thou hast sought to hide, might shield thee from his fury. A blessing in disguise, perhaps.
Leary watches helplessly as the dream blurs into a maelstrom of fire and shadows, the cries of her supposed kin echoing in her ears. Varianth's laughter, low and triumphant, resonates as the vision fades. Everin Moonbrook stands in a dimly lit library, the shelves heavy with ancient tomes. The air is thick with the must of old parchment. As he reaches for a volume, a shadow peels itself from the darkness, taking on his form but with ease that glow with a sinister light.
Behold, Everin, the truth thou hast denied.
The shadow doppelganger begins, its voice a dark mirror of his own.
Thou hast blamed thy human heretic for thy sorrows, yet it is the Elves who scorn thee. Their purity, their disdain for all that is not their own, is the root of thy pain.
The shadow moves closer, its form blurring at the edges.
Consider my other self the source of thy woes. Is it not the elven arrogance, the racial pride that divides and diminishes? They see us as lesser, unworthy.
Varianth's voice then intertwines with the shadows, a whisper in the dark.
Everan, thine elven blood doth poison thee more than any human weakness. The elves' disdain breeds thy misery. What solution, then, save to cleanse the world of such prejudice?
The library transforms, revealing a vision of a world divided, elves and humans, separated by walls of thorn and vine. The Shadow Everin proposes a chilling solution.
If elves cannot coexist without scorn, perhaps they should not exist at all. A world cleansed of elven kind, a genocide to ensure peace.
Everin recoils, horror dawning on his face as the Shadow's argument unfolds to its extreme conclusion.
See the peace that could be, free from the tyranny of elven purity. Is it not a just cause?
The Shadow presses, its eyes burning brighter.
Nay, Everin, this is but the madness of extremes.
Varianth's voice chimes in, subtly guiding.
Yet remember, even in the darkest thoughts, there lies a kernel of truth. What wilt thou do with this revelation?
The dream fades with the Shadow merging back into the darkness, leaving Everan alone, his heart racing, caught between his heritage and the drastic notions of his doppelganger. Onomatopoeia stands amidst a pantheon of heroes, each radiating confidence and strength. She feels small, out of place, her words a tangled mess in her mind.
Onomatopoeia, the one whose voice betrays them.
Varianth's voice curls around her like a cold mist, mocking and cruel.
Dost thou truly believe thou belongest among these paragons of virtue? Thy speech is a labyrinth, leading nowhere.
She tries to speak, to defend herself, but her words come out jumbled, a cacophony of sounds that elicit laughter from the figures around her. The laughter cuts deep, a confirmation of her deepest fears.
How canst thou hope to inspire, to lead, when thy own tongue mocks thee?
Varianth sneers, his words a sharp blade to her confidence.
Thou art but a jest, a sideshow amidst true heroes.
The dream shifts, showing her companions in dire situations, calling out for help. But when she tries to respond, her words fail her, and she watches, helpless, as they fall, one by one.
The Serene Dragon, a title ill-fitted. How can a mind jumbled with undisciplined thoughts hope to become serene?
Varianth's voice is a whisper of venom.
Thy presence is a burden, a distraction. Would it not be better to simply disappear? To cease being a hindrance to those more capable?
The dream ends with Onomatopoeia alone, her companions gone, her voice a whisper in the wind. The echo of Varianth's laughter is a cruel reminder of her isolation. In the depths of her slumber, Darvaneva finds herself wandering the opulent halls of a noble's estate. The disdain she holds for the aristocracy bubbles to the surface, a familiar bitterness.
Darva, chilled of the streets, witnessed the disparity of birth.
Varianth's voice slithers into her dream, smooth and manipulative.
Thou hast always championed the underdog, yet the nobles remain ensconced in their privilege, untouched by the struggles of the common folk.
She sees scenes of nobles turning a blind eye to the suffering of the poor, their laughter echoing mockingly. The injustice stirs a deep-seated anger within her.
The world is unjust, Darva, but in the shadows all are equal.
Varianth whispers, planting seeds of temptation.
The darkness cares not for titles or bloodlines. In its embrace, everyone is the same. Dost thou not crave such equality? Dost thou believe your inner thoughts barred to me, betrayer? Thou hast abandoned thine mission to link thine efforts with those you claim to be the oppressors.
The dream shifts, showing Darva leading a revolution, the oppressed rising up against their oppressors. But the cost is high. The streets run red with blood, and the line between justice and vengeance blurs.
Embrace the darkness, Darva, and become the champion of true equality.
Varianth's voice is enticing, promising power and retribution.
Cast aside the shackles of noble rule, and let the night be the great leveler.
The dream ends with Darva standing amidst the chaos she has wrought, the cheers of the freed mingling with the cries of the fallen. The echo of Varianth's laughter lingers, a reminder of the seductive pull of the shadows. Darius Stormtusk is plunged into a battlefield of his nightmares, where the clash of steel and the cries of the fallen fill the air. He stands alone, his shield raised, but doubt gnaws at his heart.
Darius, devoted herald of Egeron, wherefore art thy courage?
Varianth's voice booms over the din of battle, mocking and harsh.
Thou claimest to be a protector, yet I have seen thee cower, hiding behind others when boldness is required. Thine shield was foreordained to be the defiant protection for the weak, and so has it come to pass.
The dream shifts, showing Darius in past battles, moments when he hesitated, when his shield was not a bastion, but a barrier to hide behind. The accusations sting, for they carry a kernel of truth.
A true warrior leads from the front, facing danger with heart aflame. Yet thou art like a lamb amidst lions, trembling and unsure. How canst thou protect others when fear shackles thy limbs?
Darius' self-doubt deepens as he watches himself falter time and again. The voice of Varianth is relentless, a constant barrage of criticism that feeds his insecurities.
Behold the consequences of thy cowardice.
Varianth's voice grows colder as Darius sees those he swore to protect fall around him, victims of his hesitation.
Thou art unworthy of the mantle of protector. Thy shield is but a crutch, and thy God's favor is a distant dream.
The dream ends with Darius alone on the battlefield, surrounded by the consequences of his perceived failures, the echo of Varianth's laughter ringing in his ears. Caligon finds himself standing before the lifeless body of his fallen paladin brother, Darius. The corpse, once a symbol of valor and honor, now dark and shriveled as if leached of all fluids, beckoning him closer with an arm flaking with the movement.
Caligon, behold thine brother, once a paragon of the platinum flame, now a harbinger of a darker path.
Varianth's voice slithers into the dream, laden with sinister intent.
Dost thou hear his call, urging thee to forsake thy order and embrace the ebon flame?
Darius's corpse rises, eyes glowing with an unholy light.
Join me, Caligon.
It whispers, its voice a chilling blend of familiarity and malevolence.
Witness, O night of prophecy, the seduction of power.
Varianth taunts, his voice echoing around Caligon.
Thy brother succumbed to the call of the ebon flame and gained great power. Wilt thou follow in his footsteps, or remain shackled by a prophecy that doth not assure thy significance?
The dream shifts, casting doubt upon the prophecy that has guided Caligon's life.
If thou and Darius were born of platinum eggs, consider the possibility of others, hidden and unknown.
Varianth's voice plants seeds of uncertainty.
Art thou truly the chosen one, or merely one of many, expendable in the grand design of fate? Fate is a cunning weaver, Caligon. Redundancy is its safeguard. Thou art but a thread, easily replaced.
Varianth's words cut deep, undermining Caligon's sense of purpose.
Yet, in serving Varianth, thou shalt find a purpose beyond the whims of fate. Embrace the ebon flame, and rise above thy expendability.
As sleep claims Dakfaden, a familiar hunger stirs within him. His Dhampir nature, usually kept at bay, now rages like a storm as he stalks from one slumbering companion to another, fighting the urge to taste their life force. The thirst is overwhelming, a gnawing need that clouds his mind.
Dakfaden, feel the hunger that defines thee.
Varianth's voice creeps into the dream, sinister and mocking.
Thy Dhampir blood doth betray thee. Canst thou resist, or wilt thou succumb to the darkness within?
The scroll of fate appears before Dak, a celestial map glowing with an ethereal light. But as he reaches for it, an inky smudge erupts and begins expanding in the heavens, blotting out the details of the scroll. The sky darkens, and the dragon eclipse looms large, a foreboding shadow that threatens to engulf everything.
Behold the scroll of fate, the key to thy legacy now slipping through thy fingers. Wilt thou discover its secret before it becomes forever hidden from thine eyes?
Varianth taunts, his voice dripping with malice. The dream intensifies as Dak struggles to decipher the scroll while fighting the overwhelming desire to feed upon his companions. The sky is now a swirling mass of dark clouds, the dragon eclipse, an ominous presence that fills him with dread. The urgency is palpable, a race against time and self.
See how the scroll fades, Faden. With it, so too doth thy hopes and dreams. The eclipse engulfs the sky, a herald of despair. Is this the end of the celestial envoy?
Varianth's voice is a cold whisper, reveling in the unfolding chaos. As the ritual reaches its climax, the scroll of fate vanishes, leaving Dak empty-handed. The sky roars with the power of the dragon eclipse, and the hunger within him rages unchecked. The dream ends, with Dak lost in the darkness, the echo of Varianth's laughter ringing in his ears as his teeth find familiar flesh. Images flicker before Xaden's eyes, each scene emerging from the darkness and vanishing just as quickly as if glimpsed through a veil of shadows. Varianth's voice, ancient and echoing, narrates the unfolding visions with a sinister delight.
Behold, Xaden, scion of the eldest bloodline of the Fae. Dost thou believe it an accident of fate that mortal blood re-enters thine line during our ordained meeting? Thy blood carries the weight of ancient power, a lineage forged in the dawn of days. Yet what burden does such heritage bear?
A vision appears, the obsidian crown, its dark gems gleaming with malevolent light.
This crown, once worn by the kings of shadow, now a key to unbinding the world from light.
Varianth intones. Another image flashes, a giant bulbous eye suspended in a transparent vat of clear liquid. Clear malice and hatred exude from its stare as it quivers under its own power.
A living eye with the power to end the magic of the light, able to pierce the veils of umbrage and glimpse into the abyss.
The scene shifts to the darkness of the dragon eclipse, the sky blotted out, the land beneath, shrouded in perpetual twilight.
The eclipse draws near, a curtain of darkness to cloak our deeds.
The voice of Varianth grows eager. Then, the most painful vision of all, Zana, bound within an arcane circle. Her eyes meet his, filled with fear and pleading.
And the heart of the woods, thy beloved Zana, whose essence is intertwined with the life force of Tanner itself. She is the final piece, the sacrifice that will seal the fate of all.
As the crown is slowly lowered onto Zana's brow, the world dims, and her scream pierces the enveloping darkness, a sound so sharp and desperate that it tears at Xaden's soul, only to be cut off abruptly as silence falls like a heavy shroud. In the silence that follows, Varianth's voice returns, triumphant and cold.
All is now in place, and we await but the arrival of the eclipse. Victory is within our grasp, and the new age of shadow shall commence.
The shadows deepen, and Varianth's voice, laden with malice and madness, fills the air, addressing the group as mere pieces in a grand, dark game.
O ye puppets of prophecy, so blindly dancing to the tunes of fate and destiny, art thou not weary of the strings that pull thee this way and that, shaping thy paths with hands unseen? I, Varianth, the watcher in the night, I who weave shadows more solid than the threads used by fate, scoff at such feeble constraints. Look upon yourselves, a collection of misguided souls, believing in the power of unity and righteousness. Yet, what art thou truly, but specks of dust caught in the whirlwind of my plans? The power I wield is ancient, drawn from the very depths of the Shadowfell, a realm where light fears to tread. Thou pridest thyself on strength, on bravery, on the bonds forged by shared struggles. Yet beneath the veneer of heroism lies the undeniable truth. Thou art weak, fragile, easily broken. I have seen empires crumble, kings fall, and heroes die whimpering in the dark. What chance hast thou against a being who has transcended time and tragedy? I have battled through ages, endured torturies that would shatter the minds, and emerged not just alive, but reborn in power. My heart beats with the icy chill of the void, and my breath stirs the embers of ruin. Dost thou dare to challenge me, knowing thy fates hang by a thread so slender, so easily snipped? Go then, scurry back to the light, cling to thy fleeting hopes, for they are but candles in the storm that is my wrath. Or come forth, face the abyss, and let me show thee the true meaning of despair. For in the end all will bow before Varianth, all will whisper my name with their dying breaths, as shadows envelop the world. Remember, the darkness is patient, and it is ever waiting. Thou art but players on my stage, and I, the director of this macabre play, await thy next move with bated breath. Choose wisely, for the next act might very well be thine last.